the sports weekend. In the meantime, it is 3 for Madness. It is Chris Verlot. It is question 1.
Sam Amick made national news saying both Sabonis and DeRozan will have tough conversations with the Kings about their futures this summer. How do you see those going?
Was that on this show?
That was on this very show. By the way, it's gotten to the point now where I actually think there's some national people that are tuning in for that every week because he's getting aggregated so hard.
I mean, I think a lot of people are listening.
Yeah, a lot. Well, you know, I mean, hey, numbers reflect that. Thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate you. Always love you. I think it's going to result in DeMar DeRozan leaving. I think Sabonis is a little different. This is a different animal altogether. I love Domantas Sabonis. We're speculating. I imagine he and his agent are going to go in and say, all right, we need to know what the future of this team is. And I don't think, look, the front office and the owner and everybody on the inside, well, they can tell you what they want to do. Yeah. They're going to know that more than we do. They're going to have more control over that than we do, which we have no control. But I don't think, agents aren't stupid and neither are players. It's not like they can just conjure something up. And I think with Domantas Sabonis, you've got a guy who's about to lead the league in rebounds for the 3rd straight year, 19, 14, and 6 on 59% shooting. He should be an all-star each and every year. And he's about to turn 29. On top of him turning 29 in May, Jason, he's also committed to the Kings for 3 more years, which will take him to his year 32 on this earth, which means he has one more decent-sized contract, but he's committed to the Kings pretty much through almost all his prime.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the conversations that those two would have with the front office and what they're trying to learn, because I think you're right. The front office isn't, and ownership wouldn't say, unless I'm stunned here, I don't think they would ever say, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to tear this down.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a part of that in one way or another, whether we move you or, hey, we're going to strip a lot of it around you and help you. Hopefully you can help build this back up. I don't think they're going to say that. So if I'm Sabonis and DeRozan's group, I think I want to know about the coach. Is it Doug? Or if not Doug, then who? And then what is the offseason plan? Like, who are you targeting to add to this team? Not that they can get those guys, but I think those are the only 2 things that they could probably hear that would lean them one way or the other. Would you think there's something else?
No, I don't. I think combined DeRozan and Sabonis are about $70 million this year. They're both owed. I mean, Sabonis is owed almost $150 million. DeRozan, $50 million. That would free up a hell of a lot of cap room. But what are you going to do with it? Right. And I think if you're going for a total rebuild, you absolutely trade both of them. You trade both of them. You're going to get whatever. Maybe you get a mid to late first for DeRozan and something else expiring. For Sabonis, I think you'll get some value. You're not going to get Tyrese Halliburton value like that. You're going to eat it a little bit there. But I think you can get some picks. You can get a couple young players. You're going to get something for that. And then maybe you're taking that money now, that 50, 70 million, you're not sitting on it. You're absorbing contracts now in the future, this trade deadline, et cetera, to gather more picks. That's kind of the Sam Presti / Sam Hinkie maneuver. I agree with you. I don't think the Kings have the stomach for that. So they just have to convince Sabonis of that. I don't know how you convince him this year. If I'm in Vegas and I gotta pick something, I'm saying I think DeRozan's gone this summer, and I think it's a wait and see with Sabonis. It's okay. Well, we're officially on the clock now, and we'll revisit this conversation sometime around December or January when we have a better idea of how the season and the future is shaping up. And if things aren't going the way we want it to go, we need to move towards making a movement at the trade deadline. I think that I don't see how Sabonis could be completely pacified unless I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility if he's like, you know what, I love Napa. I got my young children here. I'm good. Just please try to win.
Yeah.
But the other thing is you can't renegotiate contracts either,
right.
So you can't even pay him more for the favor of doing that.
Yeah, and if last offseason, at least according to reports, is anything true, we heard reports that there were a portion of people in the locker room that wanted Mike Brown and there were a portion that did not. I wonder what that is like right now with Doug Christie. I mean, I don't know the answer to that.
Here's something scary. If he wants to play basketball and still live in Napa.
Oh, God. Why you gotta do that, dude? No.
I don't get it.
He's saying go play for them. Oh, I see what you're saying. You do get it. You're making a funny. Also, God, I'm really stuck on that right now, and I don't like it.
Thanks, Chris.
What was the point I was going to make about Sabonis? Damn it! It'll come to me. Question number 2, please.
Question 2.
You can build around anyone on the Kings, but only one player. Who is it, and why?
I remember what I was going to say. Look, reports say that Sabonis was he and Mike Brown didn't get along. Was Sabonis, or I shouldn't say that he and Mike Brown. He wasn't a fan of Mike Brown, and De'Aaron Fox was. We know De'Aaron Fox is a huge Mike Brown fan, and heard from several that Sabonis they just were never on the same page. And I believe that. That not that they were never on the same page, but in the end, they weren't. They just weren't seeing eye to eye. So the Kings could say to him, "Look, dude, we moved Mike Brown in part because you felt this way, which caused the chain reaction of us needing to move De'Aaron Fox. Now you're going to bail out on us." But then again, this is business. And, Sabonis' agent could say, yeah, so, sorry, whammy, womp womp. We'll see how that works out. Tons of drama. It would be Keegan Murray. It would be Keegan Murray because it's the best combination to me of talent and contract. Some people might say Keon Ellis. Some people might say Devin Carter. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you, but I think Keegan Murray has the highest ceiling of all those players. I think Keegan Murray actually has arguably the highest ceiling on the entire squad. Whether or not he gets there or not remains to be seen. And they still have him. They have him next year at $11 million, the following year at $14.5 on a team option. So it's incredibly workable, and that gives them 2 more years to really make a decision on him and or trade him at a low value. For me, it'd be Keegan.
Yeah, I think he has the highest ceiling of the young players and what he could become. I think if you move DeRozan or Levine or if it was somehow both, and he was kind of put in the spot where he's either the number 1 or number 2 scorer, I think he would do even better. Not that I see him as the top 20 scorer in the league, but just more attempts. I think as he's attacked the basket more, a little more consistency with his 3-point shooting, all that stuff. He needs to work on taking guys off the dribble a little bit, but I still think as the way they're constructed, the one to build around is Sabonis. But I think this is also a little bit part of the bigger problem. Like, I think even if you say it's Keegan or even if you say it's Sabonis, it probably is still someone that's not here right now.
Oh, you're saying it's a future?
Yeah, because person? I don't think that's like if you're saying Sabonis is your number 1, I don't, unless you just get everything right around and you got this fit team that it all just like, man, that works. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's good enough to where they want to be.
Sure.
Same with Keegan, but if that's just what they've got. So those would be my answers too.
I would also say this, Jason, while we're talking, I don't want to say this is Keegan's ceiling because weirdly enough, offensively, I think his ceiling is higher. But I think it's okay to start comping him to Mikal Bridges.
Okay.
And I'm looking at them right now. Look, Bridges has him by like 5 points a game in points per game. That's significant. Keegan's got him doubled in rebounds. Bridges has double his assists at 3.7. They have the same amount of steals and blocks. Actually, Keegan's doubled him in blocks, but it's 1.5. And then when you look at their efficiencies, Bridges is more efficient, 49 to 44, 3-point, 35 to 35 is tied. Keegan has him by 2 points in free throw percentage, and they're pretty even across the board the rest of the way. That Bridges is clearly the better player, and that's not even counting defense. I don't think Keegan in year 3 is that far behind him. Bridges just got 4 first-round draft picks in that trade.
Yeah.
I think right now I'd be comfortable saying that Keegan Murray is a diet Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, and I guess that's the good example of where Bridges I don't think is the number 1. Now, in Brooklyn, he was number 1 on a bad team. But, yeah, I think surrounded around Brunson and Cat and other guys, now that looks good.
And that's where Keegan is going to thrive, too. Number 3, please.
Question 3.
Will tonight be the last time the Kings are favored until the final game of the season versus Phoenix?
Yeah, I think it will be. Let's just go through it real quick. They're obviously favored tonight. We said earlier, 11.5 over Charlotte. They will not be favored in Cleveland. Shockingly. They won't be favored in Detroit. Now, the only caveat over these next 2, Jason Ross, is We don't know as of yet what type of teams at that point of the season Denver and the Clippers will be fielding.
Yeah, Denver's the one to watch to me because Denver the other day did not play Jokic and Murray.
Right.
If we know going in, I think that line's really close.
It's incredibly interesting they didn't either because right now they currently they have a half-game lead over the Lakers.
Yeah.
They've lost 2 in a row. The Lakers lost last night. They're fighting for that 3. And as of right now, it would be Nuggets versus Grizzlies. You have to wonder if the Nuggets and Lakers are positioning themselves. Nobody wants to face the Warriors in the first round. And as of right now, it's Lakers Warriors in the first round. It would really surprise me if that's how it ended up being. And I guarantee you the NBA doesn't want that.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want arguably, no, I don't even think arguably, the 2 most watchable, nationally highest rated teams in the Western Conference playing in the first round.
Yeah, you'd have them in a series. That's the positive.
Yes.
Negative is you're losing one in the first round.
For the rest of the postseason, you've got either LeBron and Luka and friends gone and the Laker market, or you've got Steph and all those guys gone too. They don't want that at all. So yes, barring some sort of weird everybody sitting out thing, tonight will be the last night they're favored until they play Phoenix. We will take a quick 2-minute break. Jason's going to give us an update on overhead. When we come back, we'll go around the NBA from last night. We'll take a look at the standings as well, update you on where the Kings are.